Imagine receiving an urgent phone call right now from someone you deeply trust and recognize immediately. They sound genuinely frightened and urgently explain that they are in serious trouble and need immediate help. But what if I told you that the voice on the other end was an incredibly convincing digital fabrication, not a real person at all? This terrifying scenario isn't a script from a science fiction movie. It is the very real, rapidly growing threat known as an AI voice scam happening today. At its core, an AI voice scam leverages sophisticated artificial intelligence to perfectly clone an individual's unique vocal signature. The shocking part is that these malicious actors only need a few seconds of pristine audio to achieve this alarming level of mimicry. That small audio snippet can be easily sourced from publicly available materials, like social media videos, casual voice notes, or even older recorded messages. Once the necessary training data is captured, specialized AI software can then meticulously recreate that person's distinct voice with uncanny accuracy. The technology is so advanced that it captures subtle nuances like the precise tone, natural pauses, and even genuine sounding emotional inflections. Armed with this digital counterfeit, the scammers deploy it to impersonate people you inherently trust without question. These targets can range from your closest family members and dearest friends to your direct boss or a trusted coworker. The ultimate goal of the scammer is to use this trusted sound alike to manipulate you into taking immediate, often irreversible, action. They rely on the instant familiarity of the voice to bypass your usual critical thinking and trigger an emotional reaction. This sophisticated form of digital forgery is turning everyday communication into a potential psychological trap for unsuspecting targets. We are seeing a massive surge in these specific AI voice attacks for three primary and interconnected reasons. Firstly, the very tools required to execute these deepfake audio scams have become astonishingly cheap and incredibly user-friendly. What once demanded rare, highly technical expertise is now accessible to virtually anyone with basic digital literacy and malicious intent. Secondly, the sheer volume of our shared digital footprint is providing unprecedented training material for these models. Every single short video story, casual voice note, or public recording you ever post becomes potential high-quality data for a scammer's database. This means that simply by existing online in a connected way, you are unintentionally contributing to the risk pool. The third contributing factor is that the criminals themselves are becoming significantly more psychologically astute in their operations. They are not relying solely on the technology to fool you. They are expertly weaponizing human psychology to achieve their ends. Scammers meticulously craft situations that inject intense urgency, overwhelming fear, or immense pressure into the conversation. This manufactured pressure is specifically designed to short-circuit your ability to pause, think rationally, and attempt any form of verification. The combination of easy tech, abundant data, and advanced psychological manipulation makes this threat exponentially more potent than ever before. Now, before we move on to specific defense strategies, please take a moment, because this next point is critically important. If you have any parents, grandparents, or other cherished loved ones in your life who might be susceptible to this type of deception, please share this video with them immediately. Spreading awareness right now is truly the single most powerful and proactive form of protection available against these evolving scams. Let's walk through a highly typical and distressingly common scenario that plays out in these scams every single day. It often begins with an unexpected phone call originating from a number you do not recognize in your contacts list. As you answer, the voice on the line sounds startlingly, almost perfectly, like someone you know and care for deeply. The caller immediately projects an intense emotional state, sounding stressed, frightened, deeply worried, or completely out of breath. The scripted emergency usually falls into a few high-stakes categories designed to elicit immediate sympathy and action. They might desperately claim something alarming, like, "I've just been arrested and need bail money right now." Alternatively, the script could involve a fabricated crisis, such as, "I was just in a serious accident and need a surgeon immediately." The most common demand, however, is often a direct plea. "I need you to send a significant amount of money immediately, or things will get much worse." Crucially, the scammer will almost always follow this up with a conspiratorial whisper, urging you to keep the situation completely secret. Like, "Please, whatever you do, don't tell anyone else." This deliberate manufactured urgency is the primary weapon. It's designed by the criminal to prevent you from taking the crucial step of verifying the story. Scammers are counting on that immediate panicked reaction to cloud your judgment and override your better instincts. In heartbreaking real-world cases, Victims comply by sending the requested funds or giving up highly sensitive personal information within mere minutes of the initial call. This happens because, emotionally speaking, the situation feels undeniably real when delivered by the voice of a loved one in peril. To understand why we are so vulnerable, we must acknowledge a fundamental truth about human neurobiology. Our brains are inherently and deeply wired to instinctively trust the voices belonging to people we know and love. When that familiar auditory pattern floods your senses, your brain's built-in threat detection mechanisms automatically lower their guard significantly. The immediate emotional connection bypasses the slower, more analytical parts of your prefrontal cortex, responsible for deep skepticism. In simple terms, pure emotion takes immediate command of the situation, forcing logic to step into the passenger seat. AI voice cloning technology has become the ultimate exploiter of this deeply ingrained evolutionary instinct for familial bonding and trust. Even intelligent, scam-aware individuals have tragically fallen prey to these sophisticated audio traps. This is not a failure of intelligence. It is the direct result of hearing a loved one's voice create an instantaneous, non-negotiable emotional pressure point. The immediacy of the perceived threat from a familiar source overwhelms our learned caution every single time. While technically anyone with an online presence is a potential target for cloning, scammers often focus their energy on specific demographics. Elderly populations, such as parents and grandparents, are frequently targeted due to high levels of trust and potential hesitation in verifying unfamiliar technology. Business owners, who routinely deal with large transfers and company funds, are prime targets for elaborate corporate impersonation scams. Employees in administrative or finance roles who have signatory power over payments also become high-value targets for these vocal forgeries. Families that share joint bank accounts or have established informal systems for handling shared financial emergencies are also explicitly on the scammer's radar. However, it is critically important to understand that no single age bracket is completely immune to this form of digital attack. If any trace of your unique voice is available anywhere on the public internet, the technology exists to replicate it for nefarious purposes. Fortunately, there are several simple yet highly effective defensive strategies you can implement starting right now to build your personal firewall. The first, and perhaps most important rule, is to absolutely never transfer money or sensitive data based sui soli on the instruction of a single phone call. No matter how convincing the voice sounds, you must always establish and utilize a mandatory second method of verification before proceeding with any urgent request. This secondary check could be a quick text message, a genuine face-to-face video call, or perhaps confirming the story with another trusted family member or colleague. For families or close-knit work teams, proactively create and memorize a unique, obscure, safe word or emergency code phrase for high-stakes situations. This secret word, known only to trusted parties, immediately invalidates any voice call that doesn't include it correctly. Furthermore, you should thoughtfully reconsider the amount of personal voice and video content you willingly broadcast across public platforms every day. Be extremely cautious about the audio footprints you leave behind in public voice recordings or easily accessible social media posts. If any incoming call instantly triggers feelings of high urgency, panic, or extreme emotion, force yourself to take a deliberate, deep breath. That single, intentional pause is often the only barrier needed to break the scammer's spell and allow your rational mind to re-engage. Artificial intelligence has achieved the remarkable feat of perfectly copying human voices. That much is absolutely true. But what this technology cannot replicate, unless panic takes absolute control, is the enduring power of your own common sense and critical thinking. If this explanation has helped illuminate the serious dangers lurking in these sophisticated scams, please reward this effort by hitting the like button and subscribing for more vital protective content. We aim to protect your time, your finances, and, most importantly, your mental peace from these insidious threats. Now, I want to turn the conversation over to you. If a loved one called right now in a crisis demanding money, what is your immediate gut reaction? Would you verify first or send immediately? Please leave your honest answer, either a simple yes to verify or no. If you'd pay immediately in the comment section below. Right now, Sudan. Your candid response could be the exact moment that helps someone else pause, think twice, and stay safe from falling victim to this growing digital menace.